It is perhaps the biggest local race to watch, the race for Bexar County judge. We're talking to both candidates in our KSAT Q&A. Yesterday, we spoke with the Republican candidate, former County Commissioner Trish DeBerry. Today, we're talking to the Democratic challenger, Judge Peter Sakai. Judge, thank you for being here and sharing some time with us here this evening. You are just about at the finish line, like we chatted about right before we got going here. There are still people out there who have not voted. One day left, one full day of early voting plus election day. So I want to start here with what's your message to people out there who have not made a decision yet?
That they need to go vote, that their vote is their voice and their power in this community. I have pledged to listen to all the citizens of Bexar County to be your next county judge. And I think it's important that you participate, that you put your vote in. And that way we know that we can all work together. We've got a lot of problems and issues that we are going to be confronted with in this post-COVID world. And obviously, I'm prepared to step up and provide that steady and that dependable leadership. Bexar County knows me and they trust me and they're ready for me to be the next county judge.
Judge, you just said it yourself. You've been listening to voters. What have they been telling you? What have you been hearing? And what are some of the biggest challenges that you think we face here in Bexar County?
Well, obviously, they want more out of Bexar County in the sense of they need to understand that Bexar County is responsible. The big ticket items are public safety, the court systems, and the university hospital system, the public health. And so they want to see better services. And my commitment to the citizens of Bexar County is to make sure that our county government provides a better customer service, a better delivery of services, and that we are connected and dealing with the many issues. We got to make sure that our justice system is working well and get it up and running. We've got to make sure that our jail operation is an issue that needs to be addressed, and I'm going to work with our elected sheriff, Sheriff Javier Salazar, to deal with those issues at the jail. And then we got an opportunity for a new public health entity, and I want to make sure that public health, especially mental health and drug and alcohol rehabilitation, is at the top of those priorities to fund. We've got to make sure to take care of especially what I call the infrastructure of Bexar County, and that's the children and families.
You know, you mentioned services, you mentioned keeping people connected, and that to me describes internet service, right? One of the ideas that you have proposed is creating a public internet utility. So why do you think Bexar County needs that, and how exactly would you get that done as judge?
Because we got to treat that digital divide. You know, we got to treat broadband internet, the high-speed internet connectivity as a utility. Just like we treat water, we treat electricity, we treat streets and sewers. And that the reason being is we saw that in the COVID world. The COVID world taught us that we have some flaws in infrastructure. And one is the broadband digital divide. And we saw that with students who could not link up to their schools. And we know that about the number of children is about 20% of those children have kind of gotten lost because they got disconnected from the educational public school system. So we've got to do a better job to have connection with our students. The other group that really needed to rely on the digital broadband, high-speed internet was the seniors. We had seniors that were disconnected during that freeze of last year, and some people died. They died because they didn't get the warnings. They died because they didn't know that they could go to warming center. They died because they didn't understand that there were opportunities to protect them. And that is a lesson for all of us, that what we take for granted sometimes is not available in all parts of our community. So I want to consider a public health entity, just like we have SAW, San Antonio Water System, and we have CPS Energy for our electricity. We should consider a public utility for internet so that all citizens of Bexar County are provided the high speed. Then also, too, we need public education. We've got to make sure that everybody has the devices to connect to the high speed. And then we need digital literacy. We need to teach, especially us older, seasoned people like me who sometimes I have to rely on my children and grandchildren to help me through my technology and technical skill set. So there is a digital literacy that we're going to have to focus on to make sure that we're all connected, because that's the operative word, Myra, is we've got to make sure we're all connected in this community so that everyone is protected.
Now, you mentioned it during commercial break, this race, high stakes. You've been judged for over 2 decades. How does this campaign vary from others?
Oh, that's a great question, John Paul. You know, obviously, I had a contested primary back in the spring, and we had to fight through that, and I prevailed. And then this fall election has had challenges. You know, I wanted and made a pledge to keep my campaign clean and upbeat and positive, and I have kept that promise. But it's been tough. There have been some situations where me and my opponent have basically kind of got into very confrontational discussions at the forums, debates, and we've had some lively discussions. And when it got into those negative type discussions, I really feel that the public suffers because we weren't taught. I really enjoyed the forums where we had some really positive conversations about the issues and about our policy differences and how we were going to move forward as a community. And I think that's what the public, I can tell you, the public, that's all they want to know. Judge Sakai, how are you going to fix and solve the problems that we have? And I think that's what the public wants, and that's what I have done my very best to do in this campaign, and is to present a positive message of what I will do for Bexar County.
And people have a few more days to make their decision. Like you said at the very beginning, get out and vote. Make that choice.
Got to get out and vote. Vote is your power, and we have an opportunity to change the leadership here in Bexar County and in the state of Texas. And I really am asking everybody to please go out and vote and use their power at the ballot.
Judge Sakai, thanks so much for your time. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, where's those Spreester?
You got to put up with me today.
He is on assignment today. He's not just kicking up his heels.
Well,
at least I don't think.
Bugging me. He was bugging me on this one. I was like, okay, Spreester, but I wish y'all well. Thank you, KSAT.
I'm sure he'll give you a Spreester session.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
We'll tell him you said hi. And what in the world is he doing? We'll see you next time, Judge. Thank you.